Hey guys, before we get into this week's edition of Taking the Black, I thought I would point out something that has recently been clarified in the most recent Malifaux Rules Errata FAQ and clarifications. This came out last week. If you haven't checked and had a look, you might want to do so on malifaux.com. I'll go ahead and put the link below. But one thing in particular that struck me as we were looking at the models clarifications, and in particular Collette, as you know, the series Notes for Collette is over, but I wanted to cover this here because I do feel it's an important clarification, is in how the defensive trigger a blinding flash works. So, a critical change, or I should say, what was critically clarified is that immediately after declaring triggers, swap Collette's position with a showgirl. This showgirl is now the target of the attack. And this does change things, some fundamental things about how the crew was running, or at least how we understood how to work the trigger before. So, historically speaking, you know, you would go through the duel here, you would apply all your effects, your triggers, your modifiers, and then you would do the switch, at which point the attacking model would receive slow. However, now the way it's going to work is you're going to go through the duel as normal, you're going to play your blinding flash trigger, and once you get to the damage step, damage or apply effect step, what's going to happen is the new showgirl, or the one that you swap into place, swap in the place of Collette, is now the target of the attack, and she suffers the effects. What does this do actually? Well, in the case of a melee attack, it doesn't do a whole lot except it prevents Collette from any and all damage if she fails the attack, if she fails to defend successfully from the attack. But what it does is it allows you to use Colette's defensive stats and her trigger for all steps of the duel except for the apply effect steps. And what makes this so powerful is, you know, if you're swapping in Collette, if you're swapping out Collette for another model, the other model is going to benefit from Colette's statistics and her defense. So you would be using Colette's defense. If you choose the Soulstone, you're going to have that at a plus flip because of her Soulstone ability. And then you would swap in something like a mannequin. Now, what's cool about that is if the mannequin has the mirrors ability going, then you can also use the mirrors ability when the apply effect step occurs. So in other words, the mannequin can take no damage if Collette was managed to get the attack down to a negative flip or any flip which resulted in weak damage. So that right there is very powerful. However, what's even more powerful than that is when we're talking about Collette defending against spells. So, for example, if Collette is here defending against Rigor Mortis, which is one of Nicodem's favorite spells, Paralyze may not apply to her once the spell is applied. And furthermore, because it's a spell duel, you get the benefit of seeing everything that you're up against before you do your flip. So, in the case of Collette, it might be worth just substituting in a really low tome, or just, or if you get lucky enough and you flip a natural tome, you might use that instead. And therefore, you're not really applying any resources towards this defense. You may just swap in a model that you don't necessarily need an activation with for the next round. So this becomes very powerful, and in fact allows Collette even more durability against attacks like this. And paralysis is one of her weaknesses. As far as being able to put Collette down, one of the easiest ways is to try to paralyze her. Not so much anymore. Because the way Blinding Flash trigger works now, I'm going to have to shut that off real quick. But because of the way the Blinding Flash trigger works now, you apply the effects on the new Showgirl model. So you can do things like, if you're tricky enough, you can actually put down something like a performer, have the performer die, and cause that to reactivate somebody else, like, I don't know, Cassandra here, or something like that. So this becomes a very powerful ability, and what's nice about it is, it does mean that the showgirls are probably going to take a little bit more of a beating as she applies this trigger. It also means, though, that you're going to have some options, and you're going to be thinking about where and when to apply the trigger, as well as who to swap out with. So, anyways, I thought I would cover that here, because that was a very important clarification, and I just wanted our Collette players to be aware of that. So, one last thing, I'm just going to plug the club again here real quick. This weekend's going to be another big weekend for SoCal Malifaux. We have a 30 Soulstone tournament going on at the Monstore. The Monstore is in Montclair off Moreno Boulevard. This is a 30 Soulstone 3-round Gaining Grounds format tournament. So you may want to check that out. In addition, Sunday, June 10th, we have the One Day Achievement League once again, this time at Ease Games down in Poway. So myself and Jake are going to be at one and or both of these events. Check us out. Joe is running the tournament at Monstore. Yu Yao is going to be running the One Day Achievement League down at Ease. So that's it for the club. Things are doing well. Thanks for all your support, and now we'll take you to Taking the Black. I hope the sound comes through. We'll see. Okay, so we're here with Aaron, a.k.a. Bakersfield Malifaux on YouTube. So it's for our series, Taking the Black. I have not prepared you for any of the questions, so we're just gonna shoot from off the hip. So first up, what made you decide to become a Malifaux henchman?
Two reasons. One, since the game was pretty new in our area, I wanted there to be more players around playing, so that when I wanted to play the game, it would be easier for me to find someone to play. And then the second reason, kind of selfish, self-motivating, I wanted to kind of finance my habit a little bit, and kind of offset the cost of buying models. So those are my two main motivations: grow the community and help offset the cost a little bit.
Okay. And then for you, one of the things that has been a differentiator, at least so far in your channel, is you've been covering things like playing Malifaux in weird locations. So what made you decide that you wanted to play like Malifaux in the snow or at a coffee shop or wherever?
Malifaux on the go. Not sure where the idea came from. I think I was just wanting to play while I was out, and then I thought, that'd be a good video. And then just kind of grew from there. Make a channel out of it. And so yeah, we got the camping trip one. We've got the restaurant one. We're going to play out in front of a Starbucks next weekend. So
that's cool.
So you're going to see where it goes.
Cool. So as far as the Bakersfield area, what would you say are like the main benefits of henching out in Bakersfield, and maybe some of the main challenges for that area?
Benefits being currently I'm the only henchman out there, though we got another guy that's thinking about trying it, and there is a pretty active gamer base out there. Actually, we got a real large and active War Machine and Hordes group, pretty strong 40K crowd. So trying to convert and pull some of those guys into Malifaux, that's both a bonus and a challenge right there. One of the other disadvantages, though, is all the action's down south in LA, so it's you got to travel to get to the big name events.
And as far as like when you first, actually no, I'm going to skip that question because I think we already kind of covered that. If there's one thing that you could tell somebody right now that's maybe thinking about being a henchman, what would that be?
Being a henchman isn't so much about knowing and memorizing all the rules and getting all that exactly right. You're more the facilitator and promoter. And it's your job to provide opportunities to help other people play. You're not a rules judge. So that's something to keep in mind if you're thinking about it. It's what you're actually going to be doing is more organizing than anything else.
Cool. I think that, is there anything else that you might want to add, or anything, just henching or the game or anything?
Well, henching, it's a henchman perspective. It takes a lot of time, but it's a lot of time well spent, well loved. It's put a lot of time into painting your own stuff, a lot of time helping out other people, organizing, trying to set up things. It's a full-time second job.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
It's building terrain and stuff. People would have boards. It's good stuff. Love it.
Cool.
Love it all.
Okay, so now really quick, I just want to ask you about the demo, or I'll say your most commonly used demo. What crews are you using and what strategies?
Probably it'd be a toss-up between Rasputina and Ramos for the crew that gets used the most. I've never used them both at the same time. Usually it'd be against the Ortegas or Seamus or something like that. But it's one of those two are almost always on the board in the demo. And usually I set the person I'm demoing for, I set them up with something easy like Sabotage and Bodyguard. And I'm going for something like Breakthrough, something else, and then just kind of try and mix it up just so there's a little bit of variety in it for me. And that's pretty much what I go with. Just try to keep it right around 20 to 25 soulstones.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for coming by and visiting our channel.
Thanks.
We'll probably end up on your channel as well, doing something. But
sometime soon.
All right. Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks.
Bye.